Good day, Lords and Ladies, and welcome back to Pillars of Eternity with me, Cornish-Knight.
Yeah.
As we press into the darkness beneath the city of Defiance Bay, looking for this cult of Woodica. Unfortunately, there is a slight, just a tiny slight flaw in my plan for infiltrating the evil people. I've got horns, so I can't wear the disguise. Can he wear a helmet or any kind of face disguise? Is a godling. So, we're going to do this the old-fashioned way, which is that we're going to kick down the door and go in screaming. No, actually, wait, don the hood and the mask. And we can do that. Godlike, you slip the hood and mask off your head, you can smell the fabric starting to burn, but you put the material atop your head and manage to keep the flames at bay. Continue into the chamber alone, beckon your party to follow you into the chamber. No, continue into the chamber alone. You open the door and stride into the chamber. Ah, we could actually wear it. Shrouded woman. Several shrouded figures are lined up across from a hooded woman. Figures are ahead of. Sorry, the figure at the head of the line approaches her, and the woman places an outstretched hand on the stranger's forehead. They stand in silent communication as you look on. A few moments later, the stranger steps aside and resumes his place in the circle around the statue. Godlike, the shrouded woman godlike, the woman turns to you. She does a double take at your ill-fitting hood. You are late, attendant. Even though her face is concealed, you sense her rage in her dangerous low voice, and in the sudden silence there others in the chamber.
I've been waiting on your reports. Quickly now, state your name and purpose.
The woman beckons you. Oh, this is what we had to do, wasn't it? My name belongs to the gods, and my hand is in their service.
What company do you seek?
I seek. Oh, thank goodness I didn't have to. I was worried I was going to have. I was worried that I was actually going to have to remember each passcode. I seek the company shadows and the labors of our labors may remain secret.
Tell me of your labors.
To seek the craft of the kith and what to seek the craft of the kith in the world does not disturb what bones the gods have buried.
How do we know your purpose?
You so know it by the confessions of my tongue, the deeds of my hand, and the oath on my soul.
And how is your oath guarded?
It is sealed by the leaden key.
Welcome, attendant. Tell me of your exploits.
In your mind, you see a building magnificent with terraces and tiles, and located on the pristine boulevard. The wealthy and learned strolling out, trading knowledge and coin.
Does he wait still?
Yes.
Did they arrive?
The acolyte's vision takes you out of Defiance Bay and to a town in the wilderness with a watermill. A signpost on one of the path reads Deerfoot. Several figures are huddled together, striding in cloaks and hoods. An image of ruin suddenly illumines your mind. Two skeletal figures flanked a cleric in the mountainside. Did they arrive? It is uncertain.
Your information shall be relayed. Now, for your next task.
The ruins fade from your mind. In their place is a palimpsest of our neighbourhood, a run-down estate and cobbled around a cemetery and ancient tower. Several shapes prowl the streets. In the tower, a man hunches over a strange mechanism. You can't see him clearly, but it's something unnatural about him.
Stop him. And above all, don't let him meet her.
The acolyte shows you the door in the base of the tower, a seemingly impenetrable slab of stone and copper. But then she shows you the invisible split between the perfectly matched halves, and you understand how the copper veins convert a command into action. The command comes to your mind, surprisingly familiar about it. You know how to open the door. I shall. Her hand raises lightly to your head. Have you any questions, attendant? Show me the prisoner. In your mind, you see a building, magnificent in terraces and tiles, and located on a pristine boulevard. The wealthy and learned stroll in and out, trading knowledge and coin. Yet it's also a house of misery and madness. Somewhere within is a rotten corpse. It's a man, his hair matted by his eyes alert. He watches and waits. Could I see a vision of these ruins again? Right, yeah, okay. Farewell. When by design or by consequence of sputtering candlelight, the hooded statue face is almost impossible to see.
Just say the word.
Don't mind me. Talk of defiance. Amulets are often gems, medallions, and other items worn around the neck. While some serve a purely ornamental purpose, many are imbued with charms and spells to aid the wearer. Talks still are stiff rings worn around the neck. Like amulets, they often have magical properties. Used only by rangers. That's useful. What does this do? Yeah. Now the problem is, I wonder if I go down here. I didn't know if it was going to trigger people to come. Steward could know how to read one letter for you. Okay. We've got a letter for me as well. So many things. Very nice. Where was the talk? There we go. And that was for the neck. Stealth and perception versus plus 25% against charm, confuse attacks, plus 10 defense against dominating attacks, plus 10 concentration. I can't, like, what exactly does concentration do again? So basically it means her attacks are a lot less likely to be interrupted, but I'm not massively bothered by that. Okay, so the man who waits, Durgan's battery. So this is the White March is kicked off, is it? Okay. Bounty, the Wise. A letter has arrived to Cad Noir addressed to its new ruler. The steward believes it may be present an interesting opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the DLC kicking off.
A moment, please. I feel I should explain myself.
Okay.
About my episode in the catacombs. There's something I should have told you earlier.
So tell me now, that's an understatement. He claps his hands together, slowly messaging a knuckle with his thumb. I meant no harm. I thought I could keep it to myself. But when we resolved the matter of your soul, we could also address my problem, he mutters.
I also have an awakened soul. But unlike yours, mine is a presence that shares my senses and my skin, making herself manifest at the most unwelcome times.
He closes his eyes and grits his teeth, his lips quiver and twitch with the vestiges of some internal debate. Several seconds later, he opens his eyes again. They are watery and bloodshot.
I'm sorry. I've tried to learn to control Isilmir. I've gotten stronger, but so has she.
Tell me about Isometric.
Artless, uncouth, a creature of rash impulses and feeble faculties. She wags her impertinent tongue when she should listen.
He expresses in a ripple. He winters his expression ripple between control and chaos.
Aye, this one's fit to boil. Hard to get his gaff over anything tisn't to do with books and spell speak.
He grimaces, running his hands through his hair. I have none of her memories. Baraf spared me that much, but her coarse manners and intolerable hill speak suggest a province from a far long time ago. She tends to surface a hair's breadth from conflict when the fuse is burned down and teeth are on edge. When she shows up, she does not stop to gauge the situation, she just acts. She seems reckless. That's it exactly. You recall the way she goaded those villagers in Gilded Vale. She didn't think She didn't back down. She tried to suppress. I'm trying to suppress that has been a problem for years. Why don't you say something sooner?
I learned to keep her a secret a very long time ago. Those with awakened souls are shunned, mistrusted. And after your experience with Meerwald, I'm certain you can see why. You need to be careful.
It's going to be a problem.
Merely an annoyance. Although...
He lowers his voice and claps his hands behind his back. Minute twitches and spasms along his arms betray his fidgeting.
Defiance Bay is said to have an entire institution dedicated to the study and cure of soul-related ailments. Since our journeys have already brought us to the city, perhaps we could speak with someone there.
We'll see. I can't make any promises.
Of course. I understand.
Let's talk about something else. I'd like to know more about Isilmir. Such as, when did she awaken? My father was a strict man. He expected the best from his only child and didn't tolerate failure. His face becomes drawn. At times he could be rather adamant, particularly when he was been drinking. Isilmir manifested on one such occasion. To be honest, I don't remember the specifics, only that he was more careful with me after that. Who said that you learned to hide her a long time ago. My mother instructed me to keep her a secret after she first emerged. She feared that knowledge of my awakening would render me an outcast. Even though Isilmir provided useful against my father, I trusted my mother's advice, and I've since come to see the wisdom behind it. Meerwald is an extreme example, but one that I can relate to more and more each year. Could I talk to her directly? He gives you a taut frown. Her assumptions are uncomfortable enough. I'm not eager to invite her into my consciousness more than necessary. Let's discuss something else. Indeed, right, that's all he has to say.
Yeah.
Find an expert. I know where we have to go for that. It's going to be just right to the sanctum. Right, so that's ongoing. Remaining one turn. We need to go to Blackbriars. Right. How's the soul? In we go then. No, the letter is for the DLC. It's for the one. Right. So we need to talk to. I wouldn't mind being better armed, so it makes the clients a little nervous.
Just say the word.
Okay. Let's try talking to Admar.
Hello.
Do you know anything about awakening? I'm afraid that's not my area of expertise.
Just say the word.
Yeah. What's this? Sir Wildren's farmer becomes a god. No, we've read that already.
Just say the word.
It's always... Actually, let's try the head.
Hello.
You may have remembered the leaden key in your midst. Are you the animators who've been buying relics? Oh, you know, that's not it. Does anyone here know about awakening? You may have a member of the leaden key in your midst. Let's try that. But that's going to be tricky. Let's just try awakening first. There's an animat on the lower floor who came all the way from Ruvor to study them. Take the stairs down and look for Belsag. You may have remembered the leaden key in your midst. The head, Warden Egmore groans and stones around a stud I could have done without hearing that today. Many have their intrusions been into our affairs. Of course, one can seldom be certain whether they're meddling or whatever calamity has struck on its own, but a few of their less skilled infiltrators have been exposed from time to time. They're a perpetual nuisance. Once again, I am reminded of how envious I am of your gifts. I suspect they would be of some use in verifying one's identity. You are odd with the key as well, I take it. They have something I need. They're up to something I need to try. I'm trying to determine what. I don't like what they stand for. They're up to something and I try to determine what. They have something I need. I hope it isn't knowledge you seek. They are seldom keen to part with it. Do you have any idea who this person is? I suspect it is a patient. Let's try that one. Very well, in that case I should recommend you speak first with our resident two animancers. They have frequent interactions with both patients and colleagues. You'll find them up here in their office or in their offices downstairs. You will be reporting anything suspicious to me immediately. This is my only request. Audium add 2. Olaf revealed that awakened soul. Okay. Man who waits. An agent in the place of misery and madness. I need to find this agent, discover his... Oh, so these are the missions we have. Okay, so it's the man who waits. I find an agent and discover his or her plane to see holds clues to find the man I'm searching for. Question the animators for suspicious activity. Head Warden Elamorph invited me to speak with the animators in the Sanctorum and see if they had noticed anything unusual that might point me to any of the Leaden Key involvement here. Undying Heritage. The Acolytes have me a vision of an ancient tower in the derelict district of Defiance Bay. There is a strange man in the tower working on some kind of machine. I also saw a woman with a scar over her heart. I do not know where she is, but I suspect that she holds the key to whatever happened there. The Leaden Key was interested in the tower for a reason. I need to understand what it is and does if I am to figure out their plans. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know. That's going to be the undead woman that's basically living in the town in Heritage Hill. Through Death's Gate, the Acolyte vision showed me a mysterious ruin somewhere outside of Deerford. The Leaden Key has sent operatives to find the site, but its purpose is unknown to me. Travel to Deerford Village.
Just say the word.
Right, first things first, we will go into the basement and do the thing for our companion, because I don't want to basically kill someone that may be a story connection. Right, down, down, down we go. Right. In we go. This is the person we have to find. I think it is. Two sides. Belisag, yeah, someone named Belisag in the sanatorium. There we go. That's the person.
Just say the word. Welcome.
A woman paces back and forth, her feet crunching on the soft red carpet. She gestures and mumbles to herself, shaking her head as she pores over a page of notes. She almost walks into you. Elisok, here I am, looking so hard for answers in my research, if I do not see the Kif standing in front of me. What can I do for you? I'm looking for an expert on the awakened. What do you do here? I'd like to know more Alamancy in the Valan Republics. It's dynamic and it's a dynamic and respected field. Even the Bel's Reach Institute did little to slow it up. The Belrich Institute did little to slow it. She shrugs. People in the Republics are more accepting of risk, less superstitious, ready to try anything to so's promise. Just saying that so many here are so hostile towards animancy. But animancy has also the potential to do great harm. I'm not sure what benefits outweigh the dangers. It's true that of any great technology, you cut a man open to remove sick flesh and there's a chance of killing him. Building a boat explorer on new lands perhaps sinks with your board, but surely they things make us better off, even though it sometimes fails. Is there something else you need? I'm looking for an expert on the awakenings. I still ask, especially Ak. That would be me. For the lack of research subjects has made me more of an expert in counting floorboards. I would like to transfer Animance's success in buttressing pre-awakened souls to soothe those souls that have already been awakened, but I need subjects, and most of the patients here are too broken to produce reliable results. It's a tragedy to have come so far for nothing. You're lucky I have a volunteer. She springs to the boards of her feet, beaming. Gilred, who is it? Aluf's lips curl into a frown. I don't know about this. She grins more broadly still. Don't be silly. The process is perfectly harmless. All you must do is stand in that cage. I beg your pardon, says the wizard. I jest. You Audrians are so uptight. I do not even know what the thing is used for. It belongs to the last occupant of this office, I think. Now, they upgraded him to a cell. Again, I jest. She rubs her hands together, getting down to business. So, I need you to sit here. She takes Olaf by the shoulders and steers him to a couch. And try to relax, but don't try too hard, then you'll not be relaxing. Indeed, his eyes are humorless. You must also wear these. A little cold, but the copper will help conduct your essence. The animancer fastens thick copper bands to Olaf's forehead and wrists. As he retches when tied to his face twitches with suppressed irritation. Now, I will examine your soul through my scopes. He reaches into her desk and produces a long chambered tube. Knob styles and small tooth wheels run along the side of the device. It is fitted with Adra lenses cut to different thicknesses and concavities. By manipulating them, I find the angle and the density that will allow me to track the anomalies in your soul. Does this mean we get to talk to Isamir more? I like that lady. Belsing raises a finger, but first we must find this cunning interloper. You will answer some personal questions while I make adjustments. Sagany pats his arm. Don't worry, I'm sure we won't hear any of it. Olaf squirms on the couch very well. She holds the scope to her eye and flicks a knob. To begin, tell me something personal, something from a time before your awakening. There's nothing to tell. I was just a normal child living in Sherwood. He looks to you, his face is set in a frown, but the rigid edges of basically of nervousness so through nevertheless. Apprehension, sorry. What do you remember about your home? As you speak to Olaf, you feel your voice like a bell in your chest. It tolls softly, luring him into the mist of his own memory. Belsig doesn't seem to notice anything, but you feel as if your words are soothing his essence, untangling his many threads. He closes his eyes, comfortable, modest, quiet, when Mother is away, which is most of the time, quiet enough to hear the clinking of glass on wood, which is when I know to be careful. Father is good about hiding the bottles. Mother, when she is at home, is good at pretending not to notice them. This is good. I'm starting to see something. Continue. Tell us about the time you awakened. She bites her tongue as she twists one of the dials. I am in my 5th year of training. Mother is home. I can let my guard down a little because when she's around, he's usually only angry of her. But he has heard that I've had trouble casting missiles. That my flame shield is unstable. He is furious that I have failed, and Mother's presence reminds him that he has failed too. The first blow takes me by surprise. One moment I am squeaking the kitchen, the next I am sprawled on the ground, stupidly looking at the flecks of my blood on the tile. His boots glistening with fresh polish thud across the floor. He kicks me in the stomach, and I curl up to shield my vitals, but it's pointless. Protecting one thing only leaves something else exposed. He's still huddling on the ground. I retreat as far as I can. I retreat into my vision of the kitchen, and only my trembling knees is nothing but a pinprick against a field of black. His jaw locks and his eyes twitch beneath their lids. Medicio. Belsig furiously cranks a knob along the scope. He's hypnotized himself with his old memory. You got to bring him out of it quickly. I almost have it. Slap Bluff. Your flat palm is inches from his cheek when his hand suits up and grabs your wrist. Luff's eyes snap open, but the expression you see in them isn't his. Try again and I'll take it off before I gear you back to you. Ah, there she is. How you been, Isamir? Belsig sucks a deep breath through her teeth. That's it. I'm seeing a shift in his essence, something spreading and congealing. She glances at you over the scope. Keep talking. It seems she responds to you. What brought you here? Cracking bones and voices high in ear. That warm, moistless feeling that creeps down your gut when cries in night. Belfoto. We have flares of totally distinct essence. She jots shorthand notes onto the page next to her and turns one clicking nod of her scope. Now try to get the two of them talking. Isamir, tell Aluf why you're awakened. Faye, he's the one who needed me, hiding in his own bone bag like a turtle in its shell. Aluf's face twitches in fury. I never returned it over to you, he snaps. Good, yes, very good. She rests from her scribbling only to make another adjustment to her scope. I can now see two separate patterns of essence, where he ebbs, the other flows. It's as if the awakened soul fills the space that he leaves empty. She prompts you with a circle of her wrist, quill still in hand. Go on. Aluf, what's this about ceding space to Isamir? Aluf grits his teeth painfully. I've given her nothing. She usurps me in my own body. And I lent him a pair too. You should ask what I did to that old man of his. You'd ask what I did to that old man of his, how last time he laid a hand on us, I broke it in 3 places. Aluf's head jerks to his side. That wasn't your decision. It's never been your decision, he snaps. Now I was awakening, but now I'm stuck with you, and damned if I let you nannying drag us both through the scrubber. Bale's like, very good. She lowers her scope and consults her notes. I think I finally got something we can work with. I've tracked Isamir's essence through the exchange. She has a particular high density index during the most heated portions of the argument, and her essence seems to localize most clearly in lower portion of the subject's left ribcage. That's right around the spleen, which of course means that she's triggered by black bile. No doubt the subject's characteristic melancholy is to blame. Aluf blinks back at you, and then in the midst of his perturbations, you're not quite sure who's looking out of those eyes. It's utter horseshit. Aluf blinks back at you, and then in the midst of his perturbation, you're not quite sure who's looking out of his eyes. It's utter horseshit. Sagini's eyes are wide and innocent. It does seem as though she's got one thing right. Belsig, she glares at him. Yes, never mind my years of trading. I suppose you have better explanation. Isamir manifests when Aluf is in danger under pressure. You're close. I think Isamir's appearance is related to a potential source of trouble for Aluf. Aluf is right. That's absurd. Isamir obviously shows up when he's feeling threatened. If you're right, then remove Aluf's spleen should cure him. Let's see. You're close, I think. You're close. I think Isamir's appearance is related to potential source of trouble for Aluf. Let's go with that one. Belzer carefully scratches her jaw, her gaze darting between the two, you and Aluf. I suppose it could be true. She jots another note. I have to check this against other research. He removes his copper bands. Well and good for you, but what does this mean for me? He snaps. Belsig frowns at her notes, tapping her cheek with a quill and making a grand show of concentration. However, you catch her stealing a glance at you over the pages. Isamir tries to take control from you when she thinks you can't face a problem on your own. You can't let her make these decisions for you. She did you a favour by dealing with your father, didn't she? I think she's trying to help you stand up for yourself. You may not like her methods, but you should hear her out. It seems that Isamir steps when she determines that you're in danger. It's not clear yet whether this is a help or a hindrance. Let's see, it's probably going to be one of these two, to be honest. Tries to take control of you when she thinks you can't face a problem on your own. You can't let her make those decisions for you. Basically, this one is that telling our party member to basically fix his own problems. This one, she did you a favour by dealing with your father, didn't she? I think she's trying to help you stand up for yourself. You may not like her methods, but you should hear her out. Let's try that one. Basically, to take control of you, she thinks you can't face a problem on your own. Let's go with this one. Isamir tries to take control from you when she thinks you can't face a problem on your own. You can't let her make these decisions for you. So, this one is basically like compromise. This one is that you have to be more assertive, and this one is that we don't know. Let's go with this one. My thoughts exactly. I have to be more careful about her from now on. I've got a lot of to process. Regardless, thank you for your help, Gwen Ravenheart. He does not look at Belsig. She sets her notes on the desk and turns to a scope. Well, I hope this has been useful for you, as it has been for me. I finally have material to worth publishing. You'll be toasted of revere, Fenton Aluf. He grimaces. His grimace melts into a crooked smile. Aye, advertising the right to rise principles of animancy, just what I've always wanted. If you turn to leave, you catch a darting movement out the corner of your eye. Belsig is humming to herself, still occupied with a scope, but Elof is holding her notes. He's just about to tuck them into his cloak when he catches you watching. He holds a finger to his lips, eyes wide and imploring, please, I don't want my personal information to be published like this, especially not after her nonsense. No, you get your explanation, she gets a result. That's a deal. Fair enough, but do it quietly, you snort. He hides the papers in his cloak. Nay to worry. We'll see this on our own. Right. So something's happened. There we go. This is kicked off as well. Since the end of the Saints' War, the Eldians... Right. The violent deaths of two Magorite priests at Evandur Bridge generated grief and outrage at the Godhammer Citadel. It did not take long for Canna to discover that radical Red Syrians were responsible. The two wizards had placed a curse that killed the priests, but they were backed by dozens of Red Syrian veterans from the Saints' War. As the wizards had no interest in negotiating with Canna or Magorites, a battle erupted, much of it running over the same fields that saw the combat during the war. In the end, the wizards were killed and the remaining Red Syrians were routed. The priests that had died in the initial wave were buried near the bridge, and the ceremonial gloves of the senior priests were given to Canna as thanks. Hands, 10% chance of casting Holy Meditation when hit or critically hit. Plus 10 ability area of effects. Okay. Well, that's done. Celebrity dig completed. Cannon returns to the stronghold. Rightio. Tax collectors lost 192 copies of bandits. Dio collected 31 and earned 177. Okay. Didn't we have something being built? Yeah, the forum will be finished soon enough. Once that's done, we got the Warden House. There's actually not a lot of stuff left, to be honest. We could get the library, which would be useful. But that's going to be for next time. If you have liked, please press the like button. If you wish to subscribe, please press the subscription button. You can follow me on Twitter, you can follow me on Steam, or you can even comment in the comment section and I'll get back in contact with you. I've been Cornish-Knight. This has been Pillars of Eternity, and I shall see you all next time, folks. Goodbye.